Hello, Flosstube. It's afternoon. It's Saturday afternoon. It's 2:30 in the afternoon. I usually try to record in the morning, of course, but I was out running around and doing things and all that, so I'm recording now. Uh, my name is Elizabeth Martinez, phantastitches, and this is my YouTube channel about cross stitch. Um, Welcome back to my subscribers, and welcome to any new viewers who are finding this channel for the first time. There's a cat at my feet and a cat on my bed. um, so anyway, I was a couple of days ago on Wednesday. Talked about my Maynia progress and what I was doing, and I was switching to a new uh, um, project on Wednesday because it was Wednesday. It was the second week of Mania, and so I didn't do nearly as much as I wanted to from Wednesday to today. Um, Part of it was on Thursday. Um, they came in and delivered our new dishwasher. And like I had posted on Facebook that you're a grown up when you get excited about major appliances. Like, ooh, a new dishwasher. When I was younger, it was like, ooh, a new television or something. But now it's, yeah, like a dishwasher. Ooh, how exciting. Um, but so that was Thursday. So I had to be sort of out in the house while the guy was installing the dishwasher and all that. Um, and so I had decided to work on something that I had bought for my mother for Mother's Day. And I don't know what possessed me to do this, um, but I bought this little mini maker felt succulent kit um, at Walmart. It's made by Leisure Arts, but it comes with all the stuff you need to make the these little succulents. It comes with the felt for the flower pot, the bottom of the flower pot, the soil of the flower pot, and the sort of rim, and then the different succulents, and it comes with a little wad of fiberfill to stuff the pots with, and then some thread, and it doesn't show here, but it came with like a big fat honking needle that I guess I don't know if I think I put it in my needle stash, but it was bigger, gigantic, and I thought, well, I guess because it's supposed to go through the felt or whatever, but it was blunt, but it was big, and it was really heavy, really thick, and I don't know that I guess it would have gone through the felt easily, easily enough, I guess, but it would have made big holes, and so I just went in my needle stash and got uh, I guess it's like a kind of like a sewing needle. There's a pointy end, a sharp end, and a good sized eye to make it easier to thread the needle. Because you do use two pieces of thread, for each one. So it came with some decent floss to use. Like it was like embroidery floss. Um, but anyway, so these are the three little succulents that I made. There's one. It's, don't look too closely at my stitching. And there's another one. And there's another one. This one, they gave you, it comes with a little piece of chalk that you can, like, make some chalk dust. And there's a little bit of pink on a couple of these. But I was like, I'm not going to do it. I just don't feel like doing it. But anyway, so I made these little succulents for my mother. But I was, I spent really all day, almost all day making the first one because I started it and I undid it and I redid it and blah blah blah, and then late at night I finished the second one or most of the second one, um, and then on Friday afternoon after running around doing some other stuff I did this other one. It's kind of it's a little does not bear close inspection, but you know. So I made these, and I'm glad I didn't wait until Saturday today to work on these. You know, because it took me quite a while to make them. And part of it is that you know, just I'm not, you know, I don't want to say I'm not artistic because I am in you know in other ways, but you know, sewing is not my uh, strong suit. You know, um, and this kind of you know making is difficult for me. Um, my cats are about to beat each other up, so hold on just a second. Hey, hey, hey! Shh, be nice, please. Be nice. Be nice. Be nice. Okay. So anyway, so I worked on these Thursday and Friday. So I didn't do any stitching until late Thursday night, and later on Friday because I spent most of the day doing other things, running around with my parents and my sister and whatever. One of the things we did was we went to Cracker Barrel for lunch, and so while we were there, they had these. They had. I took a picture and I posted it on Facebook. Some pictures, and I posted it on Facebook because I thought of Pam Schaefer right away because they had sort of a nautical display with lighthouses and ship things and all kinds of stuff. And one of the things they had was this little set of magnets. And they're like compasses and maps and nautical things. I think that there's a little ship in there. I don't know if you can see it. There's a little ship in there. But I like these magnets right away. But I didn't have my purse with me, so I didn't buy them until today. I went back for them. But also, they also had, when I went back today, they had this book that I was interested in. It's called Haunted Lighthouses. Phantom Keepers, Ghostly Shipwrecks, and Sinister Calls from the Deep. So yeah, that was interesting. So I bought that also. It talks about Marin's Lighthouse Lady, 1900 hurricane victims crying for help, Sarah's missing stomach. Anyway, but it sounded really interesting, so I bought that also. They also had today. I noticed they had like a patriotic display, and that also reminded me of Pam's interest in those two things, patriotic stuff and lighthouses and all that. Anyway, so another thing I did recently in terms of haul is I bought this the Hello Pumpkin stitch along thing, and I actually meant to buy. I had originally thought I would buy the kit. It comes with, you know, the needle minder and the floss and fabric and all that kind of stuff. And I had thought I was going to buy the kit. But then when I went on the website, without thinking, I just like clicked on the first thing I saw, and it was actually the PDF version that doesn't come with anything, just the patterns. And so it has like, you know, the colors, the Dempsey stuff, and like the stitch count and all that kind of jazz. And so you choose your own fabric and all that. So so it was really inexpensive to buy just the PDF version, um, but so I didn't mean to, but I did anyway. But that's what I bought. And the other thing I did was, excuse me, just a minute. Um, my sister and I, when we went to Cracker Barrel, back to Cracker Barrel to get the little magnets, we also went to Goodwill, which is actually right across the street from our neighborhood, which is very handy. But so while we were there, while she was looking at what she needed to get, she's actually doing some artwork and she needed a frame, and all that. But I bought this little tray. It's not little, big. This tray. It was like $3. And I thought it was wood at first when I got it, but when I got it out to the car, I realized it's like a leatherette, looking kind of thing. But it's about 12 and a half by a little over 18 and a quarter or something like that, in size. So I think, it would hold like a 12 by 15 by 18 piece of fabric, that doesn't go all the way edges, but it'd be nice to mount something in, or if I have like a whole bunch of smalls, maybe I'll put them in there. I don't know. I haven't decided, but I thought, well, that's kind of neat. That's a neat thing to have. So anyway, so I didn't do nearly as much stitching as I had hoped that I would do this week. Well, since Wednesday till today, but hopefully in the next few days I'll have more stitching time and more more time to get more done, I should say. I'm trying to say. Anyway, so what I've been working on since Wednesday is this chart here called Old Clipper Ship. I like this mermaid too. I might do that mermaid someday. And there's some shells and birds and stuff back here also. I like these whales too. I like all these things. I like the whales down here. Whales and dolphins. Anyway, so I'm doing Old Clipper Ship, and this is all I've got done. This is a sale. Like I said before, lots and lots of sales. This is a sale. This is just like part of one. But I got kind of tired of doing this ecru and just, I had done a block of it, and it continues on several lines down here. But this was like in the middle, so I started in the center. But I kind of got tired of it, so last night I put in like these little bits of mast right here and here. And like this, there's some edging around the sail, it goes down here. But anyway, there's, just lots and lots of ecru. But, so this is just one of the sails, one of the many sails on the ship. Yeah, it's like right about here, this one right here. And see the little bits of mast. Yeah, up here. Right here. And this bit of sail, this is where I am. So, lots to go. Lots and lots to go. All of these ship charts are, in the 100 and something by 100 and something. They're all pretty large. And, so I have my work cut out for me, and they're not all that exciting in terms of, there's not a whole lot of little things. There's just lots of sails to get through, and lots, the masts and the shading and all of that. And the rigging is will be interesting, after you do all the stitching, you do the rat lines and the ropes, and everything in the rigging. In terms of you doing like backstitch or couching and all of that, and they all have little flags on the top or whatever. I think the Voyage of Discovery that I'm going to be doing in the third week, the Christopher Columbus ships. There's a little more. There's less sails, although there still is a big chunk, but there's also more in terms of there's like more. There's some map stuff and more water, a bigger, rather than like this just has a little like sort of frothy water down here in the bottom, and the one I started with, Running of the Wind, also has some like just a little bit of sort of suggestion of water down here. But the Voyage of Discovery chart has, I think, a lot of water, a lot of waves and water down on the bottom. So I think there's just more interesting little details on that chart than there is, I'm not doing a whole bunch of little motifs or something like that, like people who are doing samplers might be doing, or a bunch of little characters or something like that. It's just a lot of sails, and maybe it's not as interesting in terms of all the of details that I'm stitching, I guess. It's just kind of big blocks of color, but hopefully the overall picture, once they're finished, will be of interest. At least it will be to me. And I really like the color. I'm really liking the color the fabric came out. That blue mottled shading kind of look. I think is going to work really well. Overall, I'm a little concerned about how the water is going to look, but I'm not too concerned about that. And we'll see. So I think that's about it. The big news this week has been that I think I had mentioned on Wednesday that Tuesday night, this woman stole my mother's wallet, which was a big pain in the rear. And so my older sister was on the phone like from Tuesday night, dealing with everything, and that was part of what my parents are doing on Wednesday too, was going to the bank and talking to people, and my older sister was on the phone talking with the police, and she had to make like 2 or 3 different phone calls, I guess, because we were in there, Tempe and Phoenix and Scottsdale. At the restaurant we were at, they're all kind of close together. But they're all different jurisdictions. It's all the Phoenix and Megalopolis, but it's actually made up of all these different little cities, little towns. Like there's Tempe, there's Phoenix, there's Chandler, there's Mesa, there's Gilbert, there's Scottsdale. They're all municipalities that are all you cross the street and you're in a different town, basically. So we were the restaurant was in Tempe. That's where the crime occurred, in Tempe, that they stole the wallet. But then the woman went and spent money, used the cards in Phoenix and Scottsdale as well. So, fortunately she wasn't able to. She apparently tried to use the card at an ATM machine, and she was trying to guess the PIN number, I guess, or something. And fortunately, after so many failed attempts, the computer, the system, blocked her out of that, and she couldn't, use it, obviously. But she did, buy some things and use the card that way. Fortunately, it looks like she only used the one card, and didn't like use other cards in the wallet or something. Um, but yeah, so you don't think about that you have to call this person and you have to call that person, all these companies, to get new cards and cancel the old cards and blah blah blah, and gosh. Anyway, so yeah, it's a big hassle. Uh, but Mother's Day is coming up tomorrow, and and um, and my mom's getting a new wallet from one of my sisters is getting her wallet for Mother's Day. Um, anyway, so I'll be doing more stitching on this on this design, and I'll get more of these blasted sails done. And there's some other colors around the edges of the sails that I'm kind of looking forward to that um, with this pattern, but I'm just going to be doing lots of this this kind of stitching, just blocks of this color. Anyway, I think that's everything that I meant to cover. Puck is over there hanging out and snug. Let me see if I can get him. He's such a big chunky boy. You're snuggle. There's Snug. Look at you. You're such a pretty kitty. He's been running around naked for I don't know how long because he lost his collar, and I don't know if it's under the bed or whatever, but he's I don't know where his collar is. I haven't been able to find it, so if it's under the bed, it's like way under or something like that. He's not like, I can't see it anywhere. So he's running around naked. My naked cat. Anyway, so like I said, I'm in the throes of the second week of Stitch Mania, and hopefully I can get a lot of stitching done, and because Wednesday will be a new chart, a different chart, a new start for the third week of Mania. Anyway, I think that's it. A little bit of haul, a little bit of progress, Okay, I think that's it. That's enough stalling. That's enough nonsense. Um, I hope I'll to do another quickie on Wednesday when I switch projects, and also I went ahead and loaded. I have the little decision roulette thing on my phone, and I went ahead and created a new wheel with these uh, sailing ship projects, so that after Mania is over, I've got them all loaded in there, and then I can stitch on them whenever I feel like it over the coming year. Uh, you know, I still have the projects left for my Stitch 9 challenge, but I'm gonna. But these are also now on in their own little decision roulette wheel, and I think what I might do is uh, uh, take a cue from Pam and have a decision roulette wheel that says like which wheel I'm going to spin, and it's because the Stitch 9 challenge group and the ship group and a couple of other things I have that I might do as well. I don't know. I'm kind of new to the idea of having multiple whips going on. I think in the past, I basically worked on one thing at a time, but I had, some other stuff that I had started and then like worked on for a while and then set aside and oh look at this new thing and um, so it wasn't that I didn't have a lot of whips, but I didn't have like a whip rotation or anything like that. And back in the day and long ago when I started uh, stitching, but now I have several projects going on, and I've got several new charts that I want to do at some point, and so I'm finding it a little hard to sort of prioritize and and do all that, but I'm trying to find a way to so that I make some significant progress on all of these projects. I don't want them to to linger for a long time. I want to sort of plow through them and get through them and get them done, uh, so that I can have some new starts without having a whole bunch of whips hanging out. Um, I know some people, they on Monday they stitch on this, on Tuesday they stitch on that, or whatever. But I don't know. I just sort of it's easier for me to just you know do one project at a time and stitch on that one project. I don't know. It's getting more and more complicated now that I'm letting sort of maybe Flosstube influence me. Um, when I see other things, I'm like, oh yeah, I'd like to do that. Um, I'm I I'm kind of immune to that a little bit. I can sit there and admire other projects that people are doing and think, gosh, that's really nice. That would be really great. And then, not feel the need to go out and buy it. But like, here I am doing something like, you know, this pumpkin thing, the pumpkin cell that I didn't necessarily have to do. Well, I still have the tiny modernist Santa's house sitting there. It's in among my Stitch 9 projects, I think, but it's just languishing. And I hope that the Hello Pumpkin thing doesn't languish. Um, but we'll see. The first part of that releases uh, May 16th, so it's in the middle of Stitch Mania. So I don't know that I'll get much of it done. I hope to. I don't know, because I'm hoping that I'm also going to be, stitching on my on my Mania projects. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so that's enough. So again, my name is Elizabeth Martinez, phantastitches, and I'm gonna try to do another update on Wednesday when I switch projects. Otherwise, I'll be back next Saturday, I think. So until then, I'll see y'all next time and keep stitching. Be happy. Thanks. Bye.